Welcome, 8th grade scientists. Okay, so today our explainer is diving right into a seriously fascinating investigation from the Godly Learners series. We're going to be looking at the systems and models of science. More specifically, we're unpacking exactly how this curriculum views the natural world, the hidden structure behind all of it, and how observing that structure actually helps us understand the environment we live in. Let's get right into it. To anchor this lesson, the source material actually starts with a quote from Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven." Now, the curriculum uses this specific verse to emphasize a pretty major idea. The universe isn't just some random collection of chaotic events. Instead, there is this grand, overarching design, a really distinct order to everything we're about to study. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today's explainer. We're looking at clues in the natural world, why nature patterns matter, tracking and recording data, real-world nature patterns, your turn for science homework, and finally, smart minds, good choices. Starting us off, we have Section 1, Clues in the Natural World, Identifying the Baseline. Think of the natural world as a giant, unfolding mystery. It's like a massive puzzle. And as scientists and students, we are essentially the detectives, searching for very specific clues. And the absolute most important clue we can look for? It's a pattern. By definition, a pattern is just something that repeats in a predictable way. This could happen daily, seasonally, or even stretch over the course of many, many years. By detecting this order in nature, scientists can figure out how things work and, more importantly, what might happen next. Now, some of these patterns are super obvious, right? Like the sun rising in the east every single morning. We just expect that. But others, they require very careful, deliberate observation, like figuring out exactly when certain tiny insects appear during specific months of the year. Moving right along to Section 2, Why Nature Patterns Matter, the Impact of Paying Attention. So we know what a pattern is, but you might be wondering, why is this so vitally important to us? Well, this comparison brilliantly illustrates why paying attention absolutely matters. On one side, recognizing patterns allows scientists to make highly accurate predictions. We're talking about everything from your daily weather forecasts to knowing the exact migration schedules for animals. Recognizing these patterns literally empowers humanity. But on the flip side, ignoring those patterns means we risk missing critical early warnings of natural events. Things like severe droughts or massive disease outbreaks. Ignoring these repeating cycles can deeply, deeply hurt our communities and ecosystems. And that brings us to Section 3, Tracking and Recording Data, the Scientific Method in Action. So, how does a good detective actually capture and use these clues out in the real world? Well, it all comes down to 4 clear steps. Step 1, observe carefully. You really have to open your eyes to the world around you. Step 2, record your data. You've got to write it down in tables, graphs, or scientific journals. Step 3 is compare data. You look at what happened today versus, say, what happened last month. And finally, step 4, confirm predictions. You see, scientists don't just guess. Writing things down accurately is the only way scientists can systematically check their work and confidently confirm what is going to happen next. Next up, we have Section 4, Real-World Nature Patterns, Seeing the Clues in Action. Let's move to a real-world case study to see how this builds. Tracking the moon's phases perfectly demonstrates this whole concept. On day 1, we start with a new moon. By day 7, boom, there's a quarter moon in the sky. Day 14 brings us that brilliant full moon. Day 21 is another quarter moon, and exactly by day 29 and a half, the entire cycle repeats itself. Because early scientists tracked this precise 29.5-day cycle night after night. And there are 2 other massive natural phenomena that prove this point for sure. First up, bird migration. Many bird species move south for the winter and then return north for the spring. Recognizing this annual pattern helps conservationists step in and protect vulnerable habitats during those key migration times. Next, we have the tides. Coastal areas experience high and low tides twice daily. This pattern is directly linked to the moon's gravitational pull. Knowing this lets people reliably plan global shipping schedules and commercial fishing trips. So tracking bird flights and ocean tides isn't just interesting trivia. It yields practical, real-world benefits for all of humanity. All right, let's head into Section 5. Your turn for science homework, testing your detective skills. Okay, so the curriculum is now challenging you to apply what you've just learned. The homework asks you 5 things. Give an example of a daily nature pattern, explain why tracking them helps predict future events, describe a seasonal patterns effect, explain how recording data lets scientists check their predictions, and finally, name a sky pattern and its meaning. Honestly, based on the material we just covered in today's explainer, you are totally ready to tackle these questions. It's time to prove your skills as science detectives. And finally, we reach Section 6, Smart Minds, Good Choices, the heroesmartacademy philosophy. Now, as the scientific investigation part wraps up, the source material actually seamlessly shifts its focus over to spiritual mindfulness. Using Romans chapter 8, verses 6 through 7, the curriculum posits that just as nature operates in a divine, predictable order, the human mind can find predictable peace when it's aligned spiritually. So it's essentially drawing a direct parallel here between the observable, reliable laws of science and the reliable laws of biblical morality. So the crucial point they're making, the core philosophy of the Godly Learner series, is that education without morality will hurt. The creators intentionally intertwined biblical morality with education. They're arguing that having raw intelligence and scientific knowledge, but lacking a strong moral compass, ultimately leads to pain. The text strongly advocates for pairing a sharp scientific mind with sound moral choices. And the text leaves students with this final, really provocative question to reflect on. What is the point of being smart and supposedly educated if you continue making bad choices that hurt yourself and others? As you go out there to observe nature's incredible patterns, the curriculum is asking you to remember the true purpose of your education and to consider how your own spiritual growth connects to your scientific learning. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, stay curious out there as you explore these ideas.